What's good everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you are new around here, then please drop a like down below on the video, and if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be greatly appreciated as we look to grow this channel. So, game week 453 rewards is going to be the plan of action for today. I'm going to take you through my lineups, where it went right, and where unfortunately went very wrong this week. But as you can see, we have two rewards to claim, which is a bit of cash and some coins. Sadly, no cards were won in the lineups. However, I actually did win a card this week, which I'll get onto in a minute. If you're new around here and are interested in signing up to Sorare, then use the link in the description. And when you purchase 5 cards off of the auction house, you will be gifted with another free limited card, as will I myself. So we're just helping each other out, and that would be very much appreciated. So click that link below and get signed up and enjoy the game. So going through my game week, we are going to start off on Sorare data because it's much easier to go through this way. Looking at the game weeks themselves, where it went right, where it went wrong, having a look at the teams. So as you can see, obviously under 23 limited, just a throwaway team. A lot of the teams that I put out, especially obviously the academy teams, some of the other teams are just throwaway teams, utilising some cards to gain some XP. But we knew the keeper wasn't going to play. Musa India, I'm waiting for him to come back from injury because he is actually a very good performer. Same thing with Federa. And then the two Athletic Bilbao boys did end up playing, but weren't in the game week that we put out. Cap 270. Now, if you would have seen the previous video, you would have seen that Maxim was actually in my Champion America lineup. However, I did swap him out at the very last minute, which was a good call, but didn't end up actually yielding a reward, which was due to the fact that looking online, it turned out that he was actually in Canada getting his green card for work in the States for Portland Timbers and wasn't going to be available for this game week. And as you can see, it's kind of just a throwaway team here. Just the Portland Timbers stack and Akuno, who was actually one of my first ever rewards, who I'm hoping will get back into good form, because actually when we look at him as a card itself within Sorare, as you can see, I want him as a reward. He's not worth anything at the moment. Lowest price, 47 pence. But when we look back on his previous scores, he's actually shot some pretty good scores back in the day and has been very consistent with a couple of hundreds and a couple of very high scores. So hopefully, when he gets back on form, obviously the J League only just started back up this week as well as the MLS, we will be able to see a good trend and be able to utilise him in some other teams. Getting on to the first main team that let me down was obviously Champion Europe. As you can see, the Athletic Bilbao boys did not do very well at all. Went with the defensive stack, hoping for a clean sheet, and obviously conceded 3 goals. Yes, they were playing Real Betis at home, which was obviously going to be a very challenging fixture for them. But after beating Girona in the previous week, I was hoping to see them do pretty well for themselves. And when we actually look at them in the table, they are still just slightly ahead of Real Betis by 7 points still, and clinging on to that Europa League spot, which hopefully they will hold so that this stack can have some midweek utility next year. But we will see. It's one of those weeks where I'm glad one player didn't shoot a massive score and I didn't have them in a lineup that I would have wanted them in. They all shot pretty low. The team overall did pretty badly. It is what it is. You just move on. Then on to the academy team, obviously another throwaway team. Surprisingly, Vandenberg did play, and when we go up and actually look at the All-Star Limited team, Pirard was benched. So Vandenberg used to be the starting keeper for, I always butcher their name, Kortrijk in the Pro League. But after a previous injury, Pirard has been playing, and Pirard has actually been playing pretty well when we're looking at his SO5 scores. Kept a couple of clean sheets, 15 decisive and a 15 all around and a 15 all around and a 22 all around after conceding 3 goals in 2 of the games, which are still pretty good scores, and then obviously shooting a 42. And surprisingly, he ended up on the bench. So what ended up happening is Vandenberg ended up playing, but as you can see, he shot an awful score after conceding an own goal and an error that led to goal with 2.2 points. So overall, good thing that he was in the academy team, but obviously with regards to the All-Star Limited team, shame that Pirard didn't start and play that game. Losing 3-0 against Mechelen was always going to be a tough game. Cortege are most likely going to get relegated as well this season, but both two pretty good, promising keepers most likely will get transfers moving forwards. But we will see what happens. Obviously, there's quite a lot of good games left of the season, and as you can see, no decisives within the team, a lot of poor scores. So I'll take you on to the next team. The academy, obviously, just grinding some more XP. The two athletic club players did actually end up starting and getting a goal and an assist for each other, so it would have been good if they were in the Champion Europe team. However, it still wouldn't have got me anywhere close to a reward. Then we have got Cap 240 Limited. Now, this really let me down. I didn't expect much from the boys, to be honest, with the FC Kaiserslautern stack. When we're actually looking at them at the moment, and I'm going to look at them in the table, they are in that relegation qualification. They are close to getting out if they do get a few more wins, and there are a few more games for them to play, and they are playing quite a few of the lower ranked teams within the league. Obviously, this upcoming weekend, playing the team below them, which is a very big 6-point game, and then the weekend after that, playing the bottom of the league team. So it could be a very good big 6 points won to take them out of that relegation qualification. It is not currently direct relegation, and obviously for my own sake, I hope they do not get relegated, because otherwise they will have no utility moving forwards on the app. But a 4-0 loss, 173 points, awful game. We move on into the academy. Obviously another academy team, another throwaway lineup, just a few players that I thought may get a little bit of game time, but were not expected to do very well, which is why they're grinding XP. Surprisingly, Luka Marek actually started for Sturm Graz, and when we look at him as a card, obviously he's quite a young card. I bought him a few months ago, actually, when everyone else bought him, when the starting keeper at the club ended up getting injured, and it was linked that he was going to be their main starter. And obviously when we look at them, they do win a lot of games, so he was going to be their main starter, and so I purchased him. Obviously, as you can see, since then his price has fallen massively back down, but then he's started this week and he's gone all the way up to £6 as of the other day. So interesting to see what happens there. I will stay up to date when we look at his previous scores. Only 2 starts, both shooting 2 scores of 69, which is obviously great for a goalkeeper, and potentially he could go into a lineup this weekend. They have got WAC in the Austrian Bundesliga and only one other game left in the Austrian Bundesliga, so it could be that because they have, I'm pretty sure they've already won the league, actually, if we have a look. Yes, Sorare. Let's get this up. Sturm. Here we go. Looking at the league. So obviously Salzburg, actually it's still pretty close between them and Salzburg with regards to the current league title. I'm pretty sure this league does also split. Yes, it does. It will split moving forwards. So potentially, because they know they are going to split soon and they're in that position, they are potentially resting their starting keeper, which is why he's getting some game time. I'm not complaining. It's always good to have a DMP keeper with a very, very low SO5 score start and continue to play. Moving in to the Champion America Limited. Now, I put the Portland Timbers stack out. Obviously, I got some news about the goalkeeper. So I had James Pantemis in. He's not expected to start any of the rest of the season unless Maxim does get injured. But this is why it's always useful to have the starting and the backup keeper. Managed to put him in place just before the lineup closed, which was great. However, it was then later on released that Evander had actually got a slight knock in training. But he did end up starting the game, and you'll be saying, no, he didn't. He did, actually. He was listed on the lineup, and then during the warm-up, he ended up getting injured and sadly didn't play. So even though Portland Timbers did win 4-1 in their first game in the MLS, Anthony got 2 goals, who is a very good prospect and will be a card I purchase when he does actually get listed on Sorare, hopefully in the future. But as you can see, the rest of the boys didn't do too well, and I was 141 points off that Tier 5 Limited. Hopefully, with Timbers actually playing a more possession-based game, we will see some good Champion America Limited rewards over the summer. Moving in to the Premier League in-season limited. Now, this was my second Premier League in-season limited team. My first team, which will be at the top of the leaderboards, actually did win me a reward, which I'm very happy with. Obviously, always good having a second team in, just in case. You never know. I was 160 points off winning £5.10. Welbeck started and Lamptey did start and actually got a very, very good score with a clearance off the line and 22 AA. So potentially will be going into the main lineup. The other boys didn't play, and it's one of those lineups where you just put it together just in case, because you never know. Champion Europe Limited, 130 points off. I had the standard Liege defensive stack with Alzante in midfield, obviously playing Royal Union St. Gillois, which is always a tough game because they are very good. Bodart did well, shot at 60. Konstantinos Lafitte actually shot a very good score, and he's actually one of my best purchases I've ever made. You're probably thinking, how much did you buy him for? I bought him for 60p, and how much is he worth? 90p. He's not worth anything, but when you look at him as a scorer, he is a very, very good centre back with very good AA, and occasionally nets are decisive in a team like Standard Liège, who are just sitting mid-table and doing pretty well, but they have got a few hard games coming up, and then they got UPenn, and then the league will split. So we'll see how they do. If they end up being in the bottom part of the league when they split, then it's expected that they're going to win a lot of games, which is why I do have quite a lot of Standard Liège players. And then partnering, obviously, which you shouldn't really do on Sorare, a forward against a defender was always unlikely. Mechelen, obviously, like I said previously, they did win 3-0. Sadly, Mratby did not get a decisive score, even though he has been scoring pretty well recently. He's got a few decisives in the last couple of games, but he didn't end up getting the score that we needed him to get. Moving on, Cap 220 Limited, only 81 points off a reward here. Eric Williamson with the beautiful goal and assist in the game. And when we look at his L15, it's obviously now at an 80, but because he was injured at the back end of last season, his score was 0. So putting him in the team at a score of 0 obviously helped massively to basically mean I could put better players in. And obviously I put some better players in, didn't work out. Lucas Radecki couldn't keep the clean sheet, which would have obviously helped massively. And I actually had Edison in before this, who shot very well. So that was a shame. Like I said, the FC Kaiserslautern boys did awfully. Kayembe did start for Watford, but Watford lost at home to Huddersfield. I think it was Watford's 7th defeat at home in a row. Sadly, I am a Watford fan. So thankfully, we're not getting relegated, but does not look like any promotions will be happening anytime soon. But 81 points off a Tier 5 Limited. Potential with this game week, and we did win some Sorare coins. Moving on, 2nd Division Europe. Now, this was actually a throwaway team, but as you can see, it actually did pretty well. Connor Roberts did come in on the pitch for Leeds, and is a very good player who I've had in my gallery for quite a long time, and I'm looking forward to him hopefully starting and playing regularly for Leeds. Now, Leeds are obviously a very, very good team at the moment within the Championship, and Connor Roberts last season, when we look at his SO5 scores when he was playing for Burnley in the Championship, who were very dominant, shot some very good scores with some very high potential. So hopefully him coming off the bench, kind of kick-starting the 3-1 victory against Leicester, should hopefully mean he gets his place. Samprisi shot 52, Zimmer shot 53, and Emmanuel Dennis did actually get a goal. So I actually was only 111 points off with a throwaway team and a DMP goalkeeper, which is actually pretty good, all things considered. And then moving on to the most important one of the lineup of them all before we open the reward, which is the Premier League in season. I finished 413th with 381 points. I won £5.10 this week, which is a nice win. Helps pay off some of these players, and was only 1.4 points away from winning. Now, sadly, some of the players did actually get scored down. Pascal Gross was on 100, and I know Buonanotte was on around a 60, and I was sitting comfortably within that £7 threshold. Obviously, 24 points away from £12, and if I hadn't have played Buonanotte and I had Lamptey in there, then I would have actually hit that threshold. But swings and roundabouts, that is all part of Sorare as a game. This is the first week I've put this stack together and I've won a reward instantly, which is very, very nice. In a 1-1 draw against Everton, sadly, if they kept the clean sheet, obviously it would have helped massively boost the score. Pascal Gross doing what Pascal Gross does best. Like when we look at this card, it is ridiculous. He's obviously the most expensive card I've ever bought, but look at those scores, look at those averages in these last 4 games, 100, 81, 100, 100. He is just an absolute machine, and I plan on making the most out of having his in-season card. And even now, he's still making money. Like we look at his recent offers, £59. Someone bought an Insta-buy for £68. I bought him for 57, so I'm making money on him as well as making money on him within the game. So that is my results this game week. Obviously not with what we would have wanted, but it's the first game week where I've gone in with this much capital and these many cards in this many lineups. So just a work in progress moving forwards. Now going on to the actual Sorare game, we will obviously claim our rewards. We have got, I think it was like 400 coins. 400 coins, yeah, 400 coins. And then, like I stated, finishing at 413th, ended up winning £3.92 when it transfers over from ETH into cash. So, nice little pocket change to go in the wallet to fund next year's in-season Premier League limited team, which is something I will be discussing within my next video. So keep an eye out for that next video. It is getting released tomorrow. I will be discussing the Premier League season and my plan and my Sorare strategy moving forwards. And like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Any questions, do let me know. Drop a like on it. Please do subscribe. And if you are interested in signing up to Sorare, then obviously just click the link in the description below. And when purchasing 5 cards off the auction house, you will receive a free card. But once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.